Welcome to the Occupational Safety Leadership Podcast, episode number 102. In today's episode, we're going to talk about giving feedback on workplace hazard identification. So this is something that over the years that I have struggled with too because, well, I got a lot of stuff to do. So when somebody says, could you do the following, or well, I just start working on it. And there's other times where I have totally dropped the ball and I have not closed the loop and gone back to somebody and said, thank you for your input, but we've decided not to address this uh, topic right now. And it doesn't mean that it's not important, but with so many things happening, um, time, effort, money, sometimes it is a hazard, but you want to get the really big casualty producing injuries and hazards first, and then you'll go back and fine tune and work on others. Uh, so let's just dive right into it. I'm starting to ramble on here then. Um, so it is hard to constantly provide, or I should say consistently provide that thoughtful and constructive feedback then to folks then. So many times I tell them that thank you because you guys are really the experts. You guys really know where the hazards are. Us as safety folks, we can read about things, we can observe things, but we're not running the equipment. We're not doing this stuff all day, every day. These guys really know where the hazards are. Anybody who's using this equipment. Many of us have to tackle multiple sites, so it's very hard to keep your attention on something that's literally not right in front of you, or it's been brought up to your attention and it's a relatively easy fix, and then you kind of go on to the next because we're tackling so many things at one time. Then, so um, let's talk about closing the loop. Then, so when somebody gives you that feedback of, hey, here's a hazard I found, let's sit down and address this. Um, when you do sit down and address it, of course, you obviously document it, you show all the steps, and then at the end, you then go back and tell the folks this is exactly what was done because you hope that everybody saw every step, but maybe they didn't see every step, or you have people working on second or third shift or other things that maybe don't have the same exact sight picture of you only on first shift doing these things to make things better for the equipment. So you also have to get back and tell folks, and it's really hard, but to say for things that you are not going to tackle, thank you for your time and effort. It is a hazard, and we're going to put it on the list, but we have to focus on things that are at a higher priority, or you say can cause more injury, whatever the right situation is, so folks know that they've been heard. So they know that you're going to address it, but they also know that it's not going to happen right now. That really helps them to have buy-in. That also helps them to understand that you're not blowing off their concerns because you've decided that maybe it cost too much money or it was too hard to fix or something, and you're going to focus on only the real easy stuff. I have found that there are some people in the workplace, and either the workplace has jaded them, or they come to the workplace with this attitude of my job is just to work. It's not to give input. It's not to make things better. It's not to cause any waves. I don't want to cause any waves. I gotta worry about feeding my family and things. Um, so not that they don't really want to help out or give that input when it comes to a hazard. They've just been beaten down so much or told, "Don't worry about it. It's not your job." And so these folks really have to see things are happening first, and then they feel a lot more comfortable pitching in and saying, "I can now see a change happen. I see where things are getting better. Now I'm willing to come forward." Then. So you do have to give it some time, like all things. A change does not happen overnight. This could be a year or two or even 3 year process where folks see things happening and say, now I'm on board, and not just they're only fixing it because somebody got hurt. And then when no one's hurt, they don't worry about making it anything better or safer around here then. So it really gives them the buy-in when they can say, here's what the issue is and here's how we want to fix it, because they're dependent on you at first because they don't really have that confidence. Eventually, because everybody actually knows how to solve these hazards, they have a hard time with the confidence and what if I do something wrong or I've done something that the boss will be mad about. And so they really kind of depend on us, but eventually they get more and more confidence, and they don't um, then they don't just take anything at face value. It's we can make this better by doing the following. So you get that real good buy-in eventually. But like all things, it does take some time, and you have to show that you are doing it also. You just can't assume people watch you and say, oh, that's good enough and all that stuff. So that's it for today's episode on giving feedback to to workplace hazard identification. We want folks to bring these to our attention. We also understand, of course, that you can't do everything all at the same time. Money, time, effort, priorities, all that stuff plays a role in it, but that doesn't mean that you don't add it to the list. And let's say, for the sake of argument, if we did some easy math, your list is 20 items. We rank it by risk, of course, and let's just say that we're going to tackle the first three, because if you got to do all of your other jobs too at the same time, well, eventually things that were lower on that priority list are now being bumped up because you've taken care of things higher on that list. So that really helps folks to get that good confidence. So episode number 102, giving feedback on workplace hazard identification, is over. I'd like to thank everybody for joining me today. My name is Dr. David Ayers, and have a safe day.